Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon. Surf Report, Scioto Surf Report. A little bit tired, but getting through it. First of all, thank you all for all the thoughts and wishes and prayers. I really appreciate it. What I want to talk about today is about alcohol, right? We're in the middle of football season, everything's going well. We got a bunch of holidays coming up here. We got Halloween coming up, then we got Thanksgiving, then we got Christmas, then we got New Year's, we got holiday parties. When you add all those up, it's only about 10 days or 10 meals, and there's I don't know, 210 meals left out of the year. If you 3 meals a day, there's 73 days till the end of the year, blah, blah, blah. I want to talk about alcohol because so many people really don't understand, especially if you're counting macros. Do I count it as a carb? Do I count it as a fat? Does it matter what I drink? And so I really wanted to kind of discuss alcohol and especially macros because people don't really understand. When we think about macros, we think about the 3 macros, right? Fat, protein, and carbs, okay? There's a 4th macro, and it's alcohol, okay? And when we talk about those specific things, protein, right, is 4 calories per gram. So when you look at the back of a label of something, it says 1 gram of protein, that's 4 calories. Carbohydrates are also 4 calories. It's the amount of energy it takes to burn that gram of protein or carbs or whatever. Fats are more, right? Fats are 9 calories per gram. And so it takes more energy to burn a gram of fat, okay? That's why we got to work for it a little bit, right? Well, the interesting thing about alcohol is that alcohol is 7 calories per gram, okay? And when you look at the back of this Truly here, right, and it says 100 calories, but it says 0 fat, 2 carbohydrates, and 0 protein. Let's see. Well, based upon our math, that should only be 8 calories. Oh, hey, 8 calories, this ought to be great for me. But it's 100 calories. So where are those empty calories that we talk about? A lot of people talk about empty calories. Alcohol is 7 calories per gram. So now we know that there's 92 other calories in here. That's something. It has to be something. Water does not have any caloric value, right? It has to be something that's alcohol, okay? So when we look at this Elvis juice, which doesn't have a label on it, right? People look at, this is the common thing in CrossFit, right? I'm going to drink a hard seltzer, a White Claw or Truly, versus a beer because it's better for me, right? It has less calories, right? Now, this does have more calories than that, right? An Elvis juice is probably close to 200 calories. Where a light beer is close to 100. A full strength beer is probably 130. Elvis juice actually has some grapefruit juice in it, so you're going to get that sweetness. You're going to get a little bit more sugar from Elvis juice in particular. And I know you're saying, Jason, well, you drink craft beer all the time and stuff like that. And you're right. And one of the things I've made a change about is understanding the caloric value of alcohol and beer over the last 6 months. I love great double IPAs, but at nearly 400 calories, and most of all of those being alcohol calories, I've started in one double IPA, hazy IPA or something of that sort. I've started to migrate away from those, or less of those, or in moderation, and more lower calorie or in lower alcohol calorie beers. So the difference between a beer and a White Claw or Truly is really only one thing, and that's gluten, okay? Hard seltzers are gluten-free. Beers are not gluten-free unless you get a gluten-free beer. So this has just the same amount of caloric value as this, okay? So if you're going to go out and pound a case of White Claw this weekend, right, understand it's just like drinking a case of Bud Light from a caloric background. And the reason why, when we talk about now we've established these are about the same, right? The caloric value is a little bit different than carbs and stuff. The reason why alcohol is dangerous, right, is alcohol cannot be stored. So the minute I drink one of these drinks and drink alcohol in, those calories automatically get pushed to the top of the line, okay? So if you talk to a nutrition person, right, they'll say, oh, well, you can count your alcohol calories, take the total calories, divide by 4, and count them as a carb, or you can divide them and count them as a fat. And the reason being is because they can't be stored. So what happens is, as soon as I drink this, it goes to the top of the line. And so I may burn it that night, or that day, or that morning, or whatever it may be. But what happens is all those calories that I consumed prior to that, or with that, because we like to eat when we have a drink, they all then go to the bottom of the line. And if I don't burn those in a period of time, they all turn to fat, okay? It's also, when we think about hangovers, one of the reasons you have a hangover, there's multiple reasons, but it's unmetabolized alcohol. Like I said, we can't store alcohol. Alcohol does not store in our muscles or our fat, right? Our body stores fat in our fat cells. It stores protein and carbs in our muscles. And then we can extract it to burn it, okay? But eventually everything turns to fat if you don't burn it in a timely manner. Alcohol doesn't, okay? So it moves to the top of the line and it just floats around in our bloodstream, right? That's why it's dangerous to operate a vehicle and all sorts of things, because it's not absorbed into any one area. Okay, it floats around in the brain, floats around the bloodstream of the heart, and in the legs and the feet and all that sort of thing. It floats around that bloodstream. So when we go to bed, we know our metabolism drastically shrinks, and then we wake up in the morning and we still have alcohol floating around our bloodstream that was unmetabolized because it was not stored. And that's when we have those feelings of, you wake up and I still feel drunk, or I really feel hungover. You still have, one, the alcohol in your blood system, but also what we would call the metabolites, right? When your body burns off the alcohol, it's that stuff, the metabolites, that didn't get flushed out through the kidneys. And that's the reason for a hangover, okay? So I want you to understand, as we go into the rest of this year, you know, that these are relatively the same, right? Now, a vodka soda is a little bit better, right? Some single drinks, but when we mix them with mixers, a lot of those mixers have sugar or corn syrup in them, or you know, as much as they'd like to be very healthy, they also are very sweet to allow to be mixers, and so those increase our caloric value. But the alcohol component is a little bit different. So it's very easy. You can just look at a calorie content and add it up yourself and say, well, everything else is alcohol. So I hope that helps you out this holiday season. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Maybe we'll talk about which is the best beer in Columbus. That would be a good one. All right, surf's up. Take care.